What do you do on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I mean, the operation is it's managing the University Union, the golf course. That includes supervision of the dining services and all the facilities and the majority of the retail programs that happen in the union. So there's a staff of 12 and a student staff of 70 and many number of events and conferences and stuff going on. So it's just providing leadership and guidance and direction for that crew in all those work areas.
How do you relay information between students, staffs, your own organization?
Internally, there's a lot of face-to-face discussion. There's small group meetings. We will do all professional staff meetings, usually bi-weekly. We will have all student employee meetings probably at least twice a semester. Individual supervisors will meet with their work teams probably more like about every other week, if not monthly, depending on how it would go on. Lots of email, not many phone calls, but some. I've gotten into a little bit of texting. We have some listserv emails that are out there. I do have the ability to directly email all students, and we use other campus vehicles for communication, the campus log announcements, campus life emails, things like that go out there. So if there's something that's out there, we're trying to do that. Plus, I mean, if you want to go extend to signage and flash TV.
How many posters do you see added in the union, like the flyers up on the wall sort of thing? How often do those change or things like that?
Well, they're usually, I mean, everyone that goes up, I think, is pretty much event driven, you know, so it could go up anywhere from, you know, a week to a month before the event. We got staff that are taking them up and down daily. Generally, when a new batch is going up and the old ones are coming down.
Do you think union events are getting the attendance they should be?
I think attendance at any event can be increased. Do I think that there's enough? I'm not going to say there's never enough, because standing room only is a good issue, or not having enough room is a good issue that we would have. So I think everybody would like to have more people going to their programs, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Some of them maybe do better than we might have anticipated that they would. Sometimes some events we are at capacity, like some of the after-hour GB night things that are going on. You know, the number's manageable. You know, add double the number, and it becomes unmanageable. What do you think should be done to get more people to come? I don't think it's from lack of effort of putting the word out there that there's stuff to do.
Yeah.
I think it's getting people out of their rooms and finding out that there is a lot to do when maybe they're thinking there's not a lot to do.
All right.
And there's plenty to do. And I like to suggest that people need to make their own fun. Okay, we're not going to make all their fun for them.
Yeah.
All right, and we're in the wrong business if we're going to do that. So that's why students form organizations, because they have a particular need or an interest, but they might want to just create some fun things, kind of going on, or take on a challenge, or build up their resume, whatever that might be. But it doesn't take a whole lot to go grab a frisbee and just go sit outside and play catch, or go find a book and sit under a tree, or plunk yourself in a snowbank. You got to tackle it directly on your own, and you can't let somebody else be the only fun maker for you.
So you did see our whiteboard experiment.
Yep.
Personally, what did you think of that? And then,
well, I actually thought it was one of my own staff who did it until I found out that it was like, oh, who did that? I wonder if somebody, who did that. I thought it was the direct engagement was I think the enticer to it. Oh, okay. And then just seeing people standing there looking at it was like, well, that's a good idea. Why do we even do posters? And why do we have email and texting and all this kind of stuff when you can just put up a whiteboard and people will communicate right onto there?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what caught my eye when I was going by, and I caught my eye because I actually saw somebody standing there reading it, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, when you go by the bulletin boards where there's posters up, they're not standing there real long, and in some cases they don't have to, because you can see it and then it triggers your memory later on. So it's a little different. It was more of an interactive, and I think the interactive was the enticing, intriguing part about it.
Would you like to see more of those up on a more permanent basis around the campus as a whole, and not just the union?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think you might have set off a little trigger to say, yeah, it could be an effective way to do anything that's out there. I mean, I find that, I think Good Times does one kind of down by the Christie, outside their office. They've had like a freestanding board, and they would put an event on there, and I think occasionally they would have the opportunity to do a little writing on there. And the union doesn't attract everybody who is on this campus. They're not all over here, so targeting those students who are parking in the green lots and the gold lots, and they're going to classes over there and aren't getting over here, which is where the most of the activities are. That engagement process that was there was pretty good, and I think that could really bring in other people, from all different areas of the campus.
If there are any possible problems you could foresee with the whiteboard, what do you think those might be?
Graffiti issues, people abusing them to a scenario. I think that when there's calls to action, and then there's not movement to the call, it sometimes causes an issue.
Yeah.
Why'd you ask about this if nothing's going to be done about it? That kind of a thing. And then people sometimes just say, well, they just didn't see what was going on, or they made no effort after that to then find out that this was going on to sort of do that. So I think is follow up on the responsibility for whatever's being done is, okay, here's some actions that's going to be going forward, whether it's just disseminating that information to others on campus to let them use that information however they see fit, to kind of utilize, I looked at the board, I don't remember it, but I'd like to see your pictures that you guys took of it that says, well, what were people looking at? As long as there's maybe routine monitoring of them where you kind of eliminate that, then you're probably fine.